afternoon. I'm really happy to be here, and I'd like to thank Amanda and to organizers for inviting me. I do hope that, so this is not my presentation. Maybe Vera or somebody else will help me. No need for help. Okay. I'm okay, thank you. I'm happy to present a snapshot from Bulgaria focused on cultural peculiarities of Bulgarian PR practices. This presentation will look more serious after the first very, very interesting and attractive session dedicated to tourism, because I'll present results and findings from the really very hot and recent study coming from Bulgaria. So the presentations looks at the role enactment of PR practitioners in Bulgaria and how it is influenced by that country's organizational culture. To understand the attitude that the Bulgarian PR industry has regarding its role in organizational management, the team of my company, Aperon Communications, has recently conducted a study looking at manager, technician role, dichotomy, and its connections with Grunig's four PR models. Building upon a previous study on Bulgarian PR role, we, as the authors of the latest study, also considered one additional dimension of Bulgarian PR practice, namely the cultural perspective. In the present study, the two-way symmetrical model is the most favored, indicating a greater management reliance on the PR actor in the decision-making process and management issues. The public information model scored very low. The press agentry model moderately used, whereas the two-way asymmetrical model has frequent usages. Based on these figures, it is evident that PR practitioners in Bulgaria are largely adopting the two-way models, excluding from their professional practice the press agentry and public information models. As is well known, the press agentry or publicity model shows the practice of organizations to spread favorable information about themselves with only moderate concern for its accuracy. The survey results show that there had been a significant shift since the position as shown by previous surveys in 2007 and 1999. Over past decade, media relations was the principal activity of practitioners. In 1999, press agentry was the most favored of four Grunig models in Bulgaria. 8 years later, our PR colleagues identified it as their second most favored professional model. What we now see is that the model is gradually losing its strength. The present study establishes that the majority of Bulgarian practitioners no longer consider their principal activity to be just getting publicity for their organizations. The public information model scored the lowest amongst the four. The same tendency was shown in the two previous studies and illustrates the firm belief of respondents that they are doing more than simply disseminating media releases. They believe that accurate information may be given without volunteering unfavorable facts about their organization or client. This observation suggests that the protection of organizational interest is a leading principle of Bulgarian PR practitioners. The two-way asymmetrical model allows the collection of feedback from the relevant publics and its use for manipulation of the behavior of those publics. In the latest research, the model scored second highest of the four. Applicable responses in the questionnaire revealed a very high result on the items measuring the tendency of Bulgarian PR practitioners to research public attitudes toward their organization and how attitudinal change might be achieved. It is a positive shift that Bulgarian respondents are less likely now than in past years to see their broad objective as the manipulation of favorable public sentiment. The two-way symmetrical model of PR, as you know, seeks understanding between the organization and publics. It is considered by Gruning to be the most ethical model. The latest research confirms that Bulgarian PR practitioners have a greater preference for two-way symmetry than for the remaining models, it scoring highest in the both recently concluded and the 2007 studies. Looking at the average scores, it is evident that my colleagues have become increasingly conscious since 1999 of their role as communication facilitators and mediators than was hitherto the case. The personal influence model of PR exists in some countries where practitioners cultivate relationships with journalists and government officials to achieve organizational goals. In reviewing the practitioner responses to the personal influence model, it became evident that relationship building is very important for Bulgarian PR practice. Both the latest and the 2007 survey showed very high mean scores on the questions regarding personal relationships within and outside the organization. This data demonstrates then, that for the majority of Bulgarian practitioners, long-term relationships, both with colleagues and with important publics, are imperative for effective PR. This being the case, we may conclude that the Bulgarian PR practice is closer to an Eastern culture of communication, characterized by greater rule, informality, and the personal influence of PR actor. The final quantitative assessment of this later study examined the work-related cultural dimensions experienced by PR practitioners in their organizations. This slide gives a descriptive analysis of the work-related cultural specifics of Bulgarian PR practitioners and the possible correlation with the models practiced by them. Cultural factors influencing work-related values of practitioners were measured through four essential cultural variables: masculinity, femininity, uncertainty avoidance, power distance, and individualism, collectivism. The respondents in this study appear to be in the middle of the power distance index and masculinity, femininity, a little higher than average in individualism, collectivism, and moderately high on uncertainty avoidance. The main supposition in the analysis is that high power distance, high collectivism, masculinity, and the lower tolerance of uncertainty are related to the authoritarian organizational culture where PR excellence hardly exists. By contrast, a participatory organizational culture featuring lower power distance, less collectivism, and high level of femininity affords a favorable environment in which symmetrical communication models may flourish. The Bulgarian PR organizational culture is situated somewhere in between these two types of organizational culture. The absence of any significant change since the 2007 study is illustrated with next diagram. So, what conclusion can be drawn from this diagram? Power distance shows the extent to which an organization has hierarchical structures and restricted upward communication. The index offers insights into the type of communication structure, centralized or decentralized, prevalent within our organization. Masculinity indicates how strongly traditional gender distinctions are maintained within an organization. Survey results on power distance and masculinity femininity indices are indicative of the remarkable transformations in Bulgarian society since the political changes in 1989. At the same time, the results indicate remnants from the communist period in societal culture. According to the research findings again, while excellence in PR has become possible in Bulgaria due to the favorable social transformation, it may yet be hindered by some cultural characteristics. Nevertheless, organizations operating in society with a non-participatory culture may have excellent public relations if strong individuals foster participative organizational culture. Such transforming agents in Bulgarian society could be or become peer practitioners having senior positions in their organizations. Another striking feature of organizational culture in Bulgaria is its intolerance of risky or untried solutions to communication problems. This is suggested by the relatively high scores on the uncertainty avoidance items. Cultures which avoid uncertainty seek to reduce it by enforcing many formal rules and have little or no tolerance of deviant views. According to our survey, Bulgarian organizations are less likely to stimulate innovation and support new ideas. Rather than acting, they typically react to changes in their business environment, a phenomenon which influences PR practice negatively. Again, typically, Bulgarian PR personnel do not solve organizational problems by seeking to develop strategic long-term communication channels with related publics. In crisis situations, they put reliance on useful interpersonal relations with key figures. Finally, the survey of organizational culture in Bulgaria showed a little higher than average value of individualism, collectivism, which suggests a slight prevalence of individualistic values. This is an indication that PR practitioners in my country profess the ideology of self-realization a little more than those of harmony, consensus, and equality. While this could be a positive sign for their attitude towards personal professional status and self-development, it may at the same time negatively influence the effectiveness and productivity of organizational PR units whose members are disinclined to cooperate and who are weak team players. As the world becomes more and more interdependent, there is a growing acceptance among PR researchers that social culture influences the interaction between organizations and their publics. Accepting this, our survey aimed to make the first steps in exploring the relationship between existing organizational culture in Bulgaria and the models of PR. According to findings, Bulgarian PR practitioners are by and large adopting the two-way models. The majority of respondents also stated that they were considered to be managerial rather than technical experts. Although PR has become a vital function in Bulgarian organizations, there is still room to doubt whether professional standards in my country fully correspond with excellence in PR practice. This study showed that rapid socioeconomic changes in Bulgaria have fostered a strong need for senior managers to think strategically about long-term relationships. However, inherited cultural values may block the symmetrical communication practices necessary for organizations to adapt to change. Relatively high scores on uncertainty avoidance items revealed a lack of tolerance for untried solutions to communication problems, which may also hinder implementation of the two-way symmetrical model, so encouraging the use of traditional press agentry model. In conclusion, this study shows that the trends towards social transformation and continued economic growth offer excellent opportunities for public relations to develop in Bulgaria as a valuable profession and as a key relationship building function, but also that some cultural specifics may delay the process. Thank you for your attention.